Yesterday, we just saw what might be the game of the year. We saw one of the best regular season games we've seen in a long time, and a game that kind of had a bit of, hype. These are two teams. I think it's the first time ever two teams on a 10 plus win streak came up against each other, and it was two teams on a 70 plus win pace. The Thunder, let's see what pace the Thunder have gone down to this after that loss. So they obviously they obviously went and are now 30-6. So how many games have they won? They have won, so they've .83 winning record, so .83 by 82. The Thunder now are on a 68 pace, but the Cleveland Cavaliers at 32-4 are a .889? Is that what that says? .889 by 82. They're on a 73 win pace right now. The Cleveland Cavaliers, after winning last night, are on pace to tie the Warriors record. I think the Warriors, if I'm not mistaken, the Warriors were like 50-6 or they were like 60-6 or something, weren't they? At one stage, but being 32-4, the Cleveland Cavaliers, if they go on a bit of a run, the fact that two of their losses have come against the Atlanta Hawks is mad. But they play Toronto, Indiana are okay, but then on the 16th of January they play the OKC Thunder again. So that's going to be a tough one. They do have a couple of tough games, like the Rockets there. They play the Rockets 2 out of 3. But if they somehow can keep this win streak going, and they can get to say 40-4, we're looking at a team that could go and at least give the Warriors record a run. We're looking for one of the 3 teams ever to break 70 wins. I'm pretty sure only the Bulls and Warriors have broke 70 wins. I need to look that up to be sure. Yeah, there's only 2 teams that have ever broke 70, and it's looking like they could be the 3rd team to do that. To be fair, it was looking like the Milwaukee Bucks were going to do it in 2020, and then the bubble happened. And then, COVID happened 5 years ago. But again, that was 5 years ago. But yeah, it was a big game yesterday. J-Dub was really good. Shea did his normal, most consistent. I think Shea might be the most consistent 30-point scorer we've ever seen. His career high is 45, and he's averaged over 30 points a game. This is his 3rd year in a row where he's going to do it, which is ridiculous. And for the Cavs, even though Donovan Mitchell had one of his worst games in a long time, you're looking at every other starter in double digits, including the GOAT, Dean Wade. If you guys know, you know, the GOAT, Dean Wade. But Evan Mobley, 10 boards, 7 assists, a block. The fact is there should be 4 All-Stars in this team. All 4 of these guys should be All-Stars. And Mobley, Allen, Garland, and Mitchell. All of these guys should be All-Stars. Mobley, 19-9. Shooting 60% from the field. Jared Allen, 14-10. 70% from the field. He is shooting 70% from the field. Darius Garland, 20 points, 6.7 assists. And to think they were trying to break up this team. During the summer, it was looking like the team was going to break up. Donovan Mitchell, 23. There should be 4 All-Stars in the Cavs. I'm trying to think who the All-Stars even should be for the Eastern Conference. But it's tough because obviously I think the 4 All-Star teams should be, the All-Star team should have 4 Cavs players. A minimum 3. And then for the Western Conference, J-Dub and Shea should be there for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't think anyone's going to really argue anyone else should be an All-Star. But even without Caruso, without Chet Holmgren, the fact that Thunder are still doing this is crazy. And at least we're finally seeing people talk about it in a positive light. This is Brian Windhorst talking about it on First Take.
I digress just for a second and say what an amazing night this was for NBA basketball. This was an advertisement of NBA regular season basketball at its best. Both of these teams playing their systems. Molly, in the third quarter of this game, the Thunder won the third quarter 43-41. That 12 minutes of basketball And the way these two teams operated the way that they play with that mastery was as high of a level as I've seen in the regular season in my 20 plus years covering the NBA. I'm talking watching the Thunder play with physicality and speed, and watching the Cavs tight passing and player movement and ball movement, and watching them go back and forth. There were 30 lead changes in this game. And yes, there was a lot of three shot, but it was within systems. It was if you don't love this game, if you watch this, you don't love basketball. This was a display of great high-level basketball.
Thank God someone finally said it. Like, yeah, I will say this, there are bad teams in the NBA. There's always been bad teams in the NBA. Like, I'm sorry, like nobody would be happy watching the 2012 Charlotte Bobcats. Even though people like praised that era, the 2012 Charlotte Bobcats were not a fun team to watch. I'm sorry, there were like teams that really sucked in the 90s. Some of those Mavs teams in the 90s really sucked at basketball. Still, like you've got two of the best teams we've seen in a long, long time. And like Jared Allen, I think Jared Allen won't get an All-Star because of stats, but man, he really should. I think the other three are almost guaranteed to be All-Stars, but Jared Allen really should get a second All-Star. But it's funny because in 2022, the Cleveland Cavs, or when they made the Donovan Mitchell trade, everyone thought the Cavs were going to be this like super high level team. Everyone thought the Cavs after that Donovan Mitchell trade were going to be like, they're going to be one of the best teams in the East. And surprisingly enough, they weren't. They lost in the first round one year. They got beaten in 5 in the second round the next year. And the fact is that like that's what they were getting beaten by. That was happening. But now at least you're seeing, okay, this is what was meant to happen. And this is what the Cavs were meant to be. That Cavs young trio of Darius Garland, Jared Allen, and Evan Mobley, that trio was supposed to be like a really, really high level 3. Even without Donovan Mitchell, and adding Donovan Mitchell to the team. But they did give up Larry Markkinen. In hindsight, would you take, because of all the picks and stuff they gave up, would you take Larry Markkinen over Donovan Mitchell right now for that team? Do you think it's easier to find like a good shooting guard and running with Larry Markkinen instead of Dean Wade? I'd probably say no, but I mean that's an argument that can be had. But these are two brilliant teams, and like let's not forget about the Thunder. Yeah, the Thunder lost this game. It was a 1-point game going into the fourth quarter, and it was just a superb game in general. And the Thunder are missing two of their best players. One of their better players in Caruso, and arguably their second best player, maybe third best player in Chet Holmgren. So when he's back, and the fact that Chet, you don't have to pay Chet or J-Dub for another year, the Thunder can make a splash. And the fact is the Thunder have potentially 3 first-round picks. I think they've got 2 probable lottery picks in this year's draft. So, again, the fact that Sam Presti freaking turned Serge Ibaka into, like, the best future in basketball is mental. Anyway, I'll see you guys.